Hey guys, this is Blue Forest. So today we are going to do our Shockwave showcase by having him solo this bass. It's about an 80k or so bass, much more interesting than just doing the showcase mission. And so Shockwave is an excellent bot used by a lot of people. A lot of people really like him. He's the kind of bot that takes a little bit of patience, and he has a couple of sort of quirky things that you have to get used to, but his damage can be absolutely phenomenal once you know how to play him well. He is very much a ranged-based fighter. He's got tons of shocks, he's got good power control, good specials, so forth and so on. And so, his energy charges are very central to his kit. You have to learn how to block basic range shots as opposed to dodging them, because he takes no damage on them and he generates those energy charges, and those are what result in those huge stacks of shock. Now, right now I am using a version of the Shocky Tech team. I've got Blaster, who gives him energy charges passively every 25 seconds, and I also have Ratchet, who makes his energy charges last longer. Of course, he has synergies with every tech bot, and it is the most OP sort of synergy team in the game. Shockwave becomes an absolute monster with them, but even without tech bots, he still does really, really well. And so, if you really like range fighters in particular, he's one I would highly recommend. He's not personally my favorite just because I don't do as well with the range-based fighters. Playing with one hand, it can be kind of difficult to maneuver and kind of get out of the way when the opponent dodges your attacks, which they often do. But there's no doubt he's amazing. That's as objective as you can say. He's an outstanding bot. Just lands these ridiculous stacks of shock over and over again. And then, of course, his power control is also really, really good, because when you land those shocks, which of course he's doing with his basic range, so if he has energy charges, his heavies, his special 1, his special 3, he's going to be draining between 2 and 3% power every second that the opponent is shocked. And so you can just be draining power over and over and over again. It's not going to be as lightning fast as a bot like Prowl, but because it does happen on a per second basis, you can do a lot of really good power control against the opponents. On top of that, all of his specials are really good. His special 1 is great. He generates 3 energy charges, so he's going to be landing really, really good shock. His special 2 has repair block, which is useful and very rare in the game. It's also armor piercing, and it's difficult for the AI to dodge. And his special 3 is a monster. Lands a ton of shock, has a longer repair block, does a ton of damage, makes him really useful against healing bots or also mods like Last Ditch. And so that's one of the things about Shockwave, is that he can do really well against a lot of different kinds of bots and lots of different kinds of mods, which is really useful. And so even beyond the tech team synergies, he has, I would say, the best synergies in the game, because he has great synergies with OGM, with Galva, and it benefits from all of the Decepticon synergies. So he just has endless synergies to choose from. And he's great in a fight like this one, right? We have Starscream on Robot Resource. I don't really have to worry about him, his power too much, because I know I'll be able to drain his power multiple times, so that's another reason why he's very versatile in terms of the bots and the mods that he can do well against. And so, he's also a great one if you want to use the tech team. I wouldn't do it too much because it makes things easy. But if you're struggling with something like, let's say, the hard lane, a time slide, you bring a Shocky Tech team with, maybe a couple blasters. You can use Ratchet, Soundwave, Wheeljack. All the tech bots give him something interesting. You use a team like that, and it just makes everything way easier. That's just a great sort of option to have, even though I wouldn't do it all the time. And a great example of that, by the way, is MUFC 14 did a video of Shockwave soloing ROTK with the tech team, and he did it brilliantly. And even in fights like this one, by the way, I'm on Ramjet's on Harm Accelerator, but I know I'm not going to bleed out. Obviously, this isn't a very difficult fight, but it doesn't matter. He's just great even where there's a disadvantage like bleeds happening, because I know that I'm going to be able to just shock Ramjet to death pretty easily. So he's just a bit of a safety net in that sense. And so if you're willing to learn his style, if you like range fighters, if you're able to learn how to, just block those basic range shots continuously, he will reward you in droves. I mean, and just like that, Ramjet just shocked to death. I didn't even have to do much, and so Shockwave was able to just burn through that base. I didn't even have to try hard. So Shockwave, outstanding bot, amazing synergies, very useful specials, tons and tons of shock, great ranged fighter. I also should mention, by the way, his SIG. So we'll take a look at my Shockwave. Mine is rank 5. He's not forged at all, but his SIG is also very useful. It is an RNG-based SIG, but it is his undo. And, at low SIG, mine's like SIG 10. Yeah, it's only a 15-20% chance. So it's not a high chance for undo to activate at low SIG, but it doesn't really matter because he has a chance to activate undo every time he gains a bar of power. So kind of like Tronus, even if he's at low SIG, the undo will activate with some consistency, even though you can't control it. And he will repair all damage taken over the previous 4 seconds, which means if you end up eating a big hit like a special and then undo activates, he will repair all of the damage taken. I mean, so he can heal a ton, even though, like I said, you can't control it and it's RNG based. But even beyond that, he's a very versatile bot, has a ton going for him. And so I would highly recommend him, particularly if you're a fan of DOT bots, if you're a fan of ranged bots, if you like bots that have really good synergies. He has a couple unique abilities like Repair Block. He's got good power control, and he also has pretty high health as well. His health is definitely above average. So I'll leave it there for now. Let me know if you have any questions, guys, and we'll speak again soon.